Okay, you should be in Photoshop right now, and you should have your words, your 4 words and your 4 images in mind, okay? So my theme is seasons. My 4 words are spring, fall, winter, and summer, okay? So first thing you're going to need to do is we're going to go to File, New, okay? Doesn't really matter the size that you're going to do for this, but let's just go ahead and keep it the same. Let's do default Photoshop size. Background, we don't want it to be white this time. Transparent. Okay, so make sure transparent. Title it something. Don't leave it untitled. Let's go ahead. I'm going to name mine since I'm going to be working on this spring. I would just probably name it the word that you're working on. I'm going to do spring 1. Okay. All right, so now I have my document. Now, this is my working space, but so you can actually see how much space you have to do, drag that screen out a little bit. That gray space is the extra space that we're not using. I always kind of like to see that. All right, so now to get started, this is actually pretty simple, but you do need to pay attention because you will be doing this 4 times. In your folder, your desktop folder, you should have your images. My folder is opened up here. I'm working on the word spring, so I'm going to take my image for spring, okay, the image that I chose for that. I'm simply going to take that image and drag and drop it onto the screen. Okay, and now I can see that I can change this a little bit. Okay, so now as I go to do this, I'm going to adjust this stuff a little bit. I can move this to fit it. You need your image to fill the screen. This is very important, okay? And remember, this can go off the page, whatever, however you want it to look, that is fine. Okay, so now I'm going to press enter. All right, and now I should be good to go. Okay, so now we see this part right here. You see that little corner page there? We need to get rid of that. So to do that, right click, rasterize layer. Okay. Now, we are going to be using a new tool that we have not used yet, and that's going to be using the font tool, okay? Now, you want to make sure, mine was set on something different. You need to make sure that it's should be just the basic tool that you're using. But in case you don't know, it is the horizontal type tool. Okay, that should be the regular setting. And now you're just going to start by simply typing your word. So my word is spring. I'm going to make sure it's all capital letters. Yours does not need to be capital letters. That's just my choice here for now. Okay, so now you guys might say, all right, well, the color of the font doesn't matter. That's kind of an ugly color, brown, but that does not matter. But you might say, I probably need to make that bigger to fill this page, okay? You might not like the font that it's at right now. To change that, make sure you're in, make sure when you go to the tools, okay, I'm going to go to my font here, and I can do that. Oops, let me click out of here. Okay, I'm in design for that. Okay, I'm in the text tool, I'm in design. So now and when I say design, the design setting up here, we can switch between these other ones, different settings happen. Okay, but now we can see the font, if it's bolded, what kind of type is happening now. And here's the font size and things like that, how it's adjusted. Okay, and we'll talk about some of these other tools later. So if I'm in here, I just got to make sure that my text tool, oops, okay. Trying to get rid of that here, okay. Sorry, guys. I don't want that. I got to delete that layer. Okay, so notice that when you typed in, you created a new layer without you knowing it. Okay, so now I'm going to make sure that if I want to change this, I need to select all. Okay. Then if I go, okay, select all there. Now I can change the fonts, okay? And we will have downloaded a ton of different fonts for you guys to pick from, okay? So just pick one that you like. I like the one that I have right now. It's the Second Chances Solid, okay? So I need to make this bigger, okay? So I can make this really big, go all the way like that. Okay, and I'm going to move this over, okay? It's still not big enough though. But you might say, well, that's the biggest that the font goes, okay? So I'm at the 72 point. You can make it bigger just by highlighting and clicking. So I'm going to go ahead and put this at 100. Still can probably make it bigger. So just kind of experiment with the size you need. That's a little too big. So I'm going to go, maybe I'll go 130. We don't want it to go off the page. So that works pretty well right now. So now just kind of adjust it into the center. Need to make sure you're in this layer. So I click back to the essentials. And when I'm moving between these, I just use this move tool up here. All right, so now what you need to do, depending on the type of computer you have, I know your keyboards are a little different. On a Mac keyboard, it is Option or Alt, and on a PC, it probably just says Alt. So what you are going to do to make these words transform into the background picture, I'm going to hold down Option or Alt. It should be the same key. I'm going to hold it down, but notice my cursor, so look where my cursor is. I'm not on one of these, okay? You're pointing it at that line in between the two. So now hold down Alt, and you get this little circle. Simply click. Yep. Now it doesn't want to do it. Oh, here's my problem. I have to drag this up here. Okay. Now put that cursor there. Click. And now the background has become the letters. Okay. And all that other stuff got rid of it. So now I'm on this layer here and I can move the background. Notice the letters aren't moving, okay, until it's off the screen. But only the background picture is moving. So I can move this to have the image showing through that I want, okay? So once you are happy with that, okay, so maybe that's the way that I want my image to go. And I know it's kind of hard to see around the rest of it right now, but we will work on that later on, okay? So we can see all of this right here. That's all you have to do. Pretty simple, okay? So now, this is what I would like you to do this time. I want you to go to File, Save As, okay? And make sure to save it as a PNG, not a PDF, not a JPEG, a PNG. That is down here. You can title it the same thing that it's already called. That is fine. But it must be a PNG. Simply save it to your desktop folder, okay? Press OK, and you're ready to go on to your next word. So I'll show you one more, and then you can complete the next four, okay, or the next three. So to do this, what I'm going to do, let's go to File, New, and let's look at this setting here right now. To figure out the paper size, we want it to be the same size as we already created. So I'm going to do that. And you can see Spring 1, which is the document I just created, it came up. Okay, so I'm going to click that. And it already set it at that size that I had before, the exact same settings, transparent background. I'm going to be doing fall right now. So I'm going to title this one Fall 1. Press OK. I have my new document. My spring is still there. So remember, you are simply going to take your background image that you want for your word, drag it on, and depending on the size, you might only have to do a little adjusting. So I don't have to do too much adjusting now. Now to get rid of this X in the box, just press Enter and start typing with your word. If you want to change fonts, that's up to you. I'm going to go ahead and just keep the same one. So now this is set at the last font size that I used. So fall, I did all caps again. I'm going to move this over. Now since this is a shorter word than spring, I'm going to change that size a little bit more. So design, I need to select this. I'm going to make it 150 might work this time. Oh, even bigger than that. Let's see, 170, 175. Okay. I could even probably make it a little bigger. Let's try 200. All right, that's how I'm going to leave it. Okay, so I'm just going to click out of that when I'm done, and I'm just going to kind of drag the tool there. Okay, so go back to your Essentials tab there. Now, I need to, I don't have this bottom part done here. You see that corner piece? I need to get rid of that. Right click and rasterize layer. Remember, if you don't have an Apple mouse, you do the function key and click to do that. Okay. Function key and click to get that done. Okay. So now to change the letters in the words, drag this layer up above. Okay. So now the words are covered up. You hold down Alt or Option, same key, holding your cursor key in between the two layers. Click. And now you have that. Okay, so then you can move that around, arrange it around again if you want. Okay, once again, File, Save As. Make sure it is a PNG. This is very important for our next step. Okay, save it, and you will be ready to create your next two words. We'll check back in here with this part when you are finished.